Hi, this is Carmela with Equine Helper, and today I wanted to talk about English riding tack and English riding attire. So the purpose for English tack is mainly to give the rider more mobility. That's why you see the English tack used for jumping and fox hunting and eventing, simply because it needs to allow the rider to move and flow with the horse's movements. The first piece of tack we'll look at is the English bridle. So here is a lovely English bridle. The way to recognize these compared to Western headstalls will be to notice the brow band that goes over the horse's forehead, and then you also have a nose band that goes over their nose like this. And when you see that, you can probably go, there's a English bridle. And this is an English saddle. This is known as a close contact saddle, and the purpose is to allow the rider to have as close contact with the horse as they can get. So this saddle specifically will be used in the jumping ring and fox hunting and any other discipline that will require a lot of mobility from the rider. So if you're jumping, that you need the mobility to get into your jump position. Fox hunting, you have to clear fences, you have to gallop through fields. So this allows you to get off the horse's back. It's made for shorter stirrups, and also just to have that closer contact with the horse. So in terms of picking the right size for you and your horse, you'll just want to make sure it properly fits. There's always a number of ways to do this. Usually correct measurements is the best way, but just looking at it, making sure that it touches and it's in contact with your horse where it needs to be. And then also, if you were to stand behind the horse and look, you should see a ray of light just going up through the tree of the saddle. And that's a quick way to tell if the saddle fits. If a saddle doesn't fit, it can cause the horse discomfort, so you don't want that. So always make sure your saddle fits. Alright, and so once you have your saddle, you're going to need a saddle pad. The saddle pad goes under the saddle in order to create a cushion for the horse's back. So this is called a half pad here. It's just for even extra cushion. But this right here is the saddle pad. And so in order to get a correctly fitting saddle pad, basically what you want to just make sure is that your saddle doesn't overlap it in any way and touch the horse outside of the saddle pad. So actually with English saddles, if your saddle fits correctly, you don't necessarily need a saddle pad. But for those riders that want the extra cushion, and sometimes in shows they think a saddle pad looks better, you're going to want to make sure that it fits correctly. So this is called a full saddle pad, so it's more of a square. A shaped saddle pad would fit exactly to the shape of the saddle, so it would have this cutout here. Alright, and so the next piece of tack we have is the English girth. This is different from a Western cinch because a Western cinch doesn't actually ever touch the saddle. However, the English girth connects directly to the saddle through the billets. And so the English girth will usually have an elastic strip on one side. That side always goes on the left, so the opposite side of the horse. And that's just so you can tighten it up and get it as tight as you need to. It should be tight so you can fit 4 fingers. Well, I have a small hand, so I could probably fit my whole hand through there. But it should be tight enough so that you can fit 4 fingers through. That way the saddle won't tip or slide or anything like that. So now discussing English attire. So the first thing you'll usually see in the English ring, and it's highly recommended, is a riding helmet. So these riding helmets are ASTM approved. That means they've been tested and proven to withstand, falling off a horse and bumping your head or getting kicked in the head. It is solely for your protection you need to wear a riding helmet. Unfortunately, if you fall off and hit your head, you could get seriously injured or possibly even die. So we don't want that. So wear a riding helmet. So the next piece of attire you'll notice when it comes to the English wardrobe is the English breeches or jodhpurs. These pants are form-fitting so they don't get caught on any tack. They have padding along here. This is to protect your leg from the saddle or pinching of the stirrups, which can happen sometimes. And so these pants are great. They're actually really comfortable. So if you want some comfortable clothes to ride in, I recommend getting some pants like this. And lastly, the next important thing is your footwear. So as you can see, my shoes are very dirty, unfortunately. I didn't have time to clean them. These are tall boots. These shoes will protect your feet. If you get stepped on by a horse, you could be seriously injured if you're wearing the wrong kind of shoes. When it comes to your shirt, if you're to compete or show, there's certain styles that the judges look for. But if you're just pleasure riding, like myself, you can choose something that's more form-fitting and breathable, just to allow for more comfort and relaxation on your ride. If you'd like to check out some products that I recommend for riding attire and riding tack, check out my website. It's equinehelper.com/equipment. Thank you for watching and happy trails.